material them what then get for use for phase 2 of the fiber project. Mohamed Rahman Soare, that the Minister of Information and Communication, how the country gets the material. Yeah.
One of the key requests he made to the Chinese government was to support us to improve on the fiber backbone connectivity. That was what led to the Chinese government granting this government a concessionary loan of $30 million at 1% concessionary rate, interest rate, to embark on the fiber backbone. What is very significant about this loan is that we were able to negotiate very hard for a 1% interest rate, which is, so there we are to widen on the connectivity and to ensure that the country benefits.
Mohamed Rahman Soare continues say, then forget feeder road them for connect the fiber cable them na different districts them.
You need to have feeder road that will connect to homes, that will connect to towns, to villages and whatever. So the main essence of the fiber backbone phase 2 is to ensure that we are able to facilitate last mile connectivity. In the course of the work, we'll ensure that all roads that all schools along the fiber routes will be connected. We also will ensure that all district councils where the fiber project will affect will be connected. All hospitals in the same vicinities will be connected. So this is digitalization taken to community, taken to the districts. And also, most importantly, we are going to do metro rings in all the regional headquarter towns, which will make fiber to the home and last mile connectivity very easy. So this is where we are, after taking delivery of these things and after all of the administrative processes are done, will still launch into operations.
Ishmael Kebe, now the managing director for SALCAP, say he glad with this project as he say now the first project where he undertake from the time where he take over office as managing director of SALCAP.
It's something that we've been waiting for at SALCAP. Under my management, this is the first project I'll be undertaking since I became manager of Sierra Leone Cable Limited, and we're ready to push the president's agenda of pushing digitalization all over the nation. And this project, as the Honorable Minister just said, will actually drive digitalization to many parts of the country, going up north to Kabbalah, to the east, to the south, and also creating metro rings, which is very vital to ensure that we connect hospitals, schools, district council headquarters. So it's a project that we welcome, and we want to promise the Honourable that we will ensure that while we work to the fullest of their capabilities, we'll be monitoring them, we'll be working in partnership with Huawei and the Director of MIC to ensure that we deliver for our nation.
After the ministry been to address journalists and other people, the acting director of communication, now the Ministry of Information and Communication, Mohamed M. Jallo, been take the minister and journalists them for look the material them where it don't come for the phase 2 fiber project.
With this amount of cable we have here, we are sure that the full component of the project will be covered and there will be slack for future use. So these are another extension of the cables that we are having here. Like I said, each one of the cable has about 48 core of fiber. What that means is that a big bundle of the cable, there is 48 core of that, and virtually we'll be using just 2. So it means we have sufficient capacity in camp to accommodate any kind of traffic, whether it's voice, data, etc., video streaming. Here also are equipment that were part of the shipment that arrived. Like you are aware, we actually received about 18 40-feet containers worth of equipment for this project. Like you said, one of the hallmark of His Excellence's visit was to ensure that his vision of creating a digital Sierra Leone is actualized. And the only way you are going to actualize that one in this 4th industrial revolution is going fiber.
Mohamed M. Jallo continues say, then go for use solar and electricity for the fiber station them.
So as you can see here in Sierra Leone, we are very much aware of the power situation that we have. So here you can see these are equipment that came with the project because the project is going to do a kind of hybrid power solution. What that means is that in all the vital equipment locations, we are going to have both solar and generator so that 24/7 the system will be up and running. So these are stands for those are all the equipment for the solar as part of the project for the hybrid power. This is also the solar modules that we have the PV modules for the equipment. These are some of the stands for the equipment, etc., etc. And these are all the equipment. Some of the transmission equipment are actually in those piles that are at the top of the equipment stands there. But these are all equipment that we have received, and we are very grateful for the Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency because the report we received from Huawei is that they are very professional in handling them. Some of these equipment are very delicate.
Mohamed M. Jallo end up say, he not go take again, then go begin do the work for the phase 2 fiber project na the country. For Radio Democracy, Mange Mansaye, the report.
The program they listen to now, Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from 98.1 FM. We still get Jan Israel Jar, Public Relations Officer, Salone Bar Association, as even they talk on the issue of Nicholas Brandmark before we go for that short break. Mr. Jar, you mentioned say the Justice Nicholas Brandmark issue, he go for 90 days leave with the CJ Giam, right?
The amount, then the memo from the Office of the Chief Justice say the outstanding leave amounted to 690 days.
Okay, and you mentioned also say the Chief Justice not saying for give leave to judge them, it's just for approval, right?
Yes, now that's the regulation say.
But in this situation now, we don't see the Chief Justice don't give leave to Brandmark for make it go. As you say, this not supposed to happen, but it happen. What in this mean na the judicial system?
Well, for example, I just mentioned say this the blame is squarely at the feet of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. Now we see say the parties that were involved in the letters with them sent on social media, the Chief Justice, Justice Reginald Finn, and just the Honorable Justice Brandmark. We see say the Chief Justice is the head of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. The Honorable Justice Reginald Finn is also a member of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission and President of the Court of Appeal. And we note say, like how the Constitution say, na the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, they advise the Chief Justice in the performance of his administrative function. So, for instance, if where the Chief Justice requests the Honorable Justice Brandmark for proceed on leave, the concern of such should have been directed to the Judicial and Legal Service Commission before ever, first of all, it go on social media. Secondly, we note say Chief Justice as a chairman of General Legal Council would not ordinarily sit or not for sit down and take such administrative actions by himself. He ought and should have contacted or consulted with members of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission.
So in all of this, what does this mean to the judiciary or the justice system?
Well, we concern as Bar Association because we are totally against the fact that the judiciary in this kind of mess as it is right now. We expect say the judiciary should uphold the highest of standards when it comes to morality, integrity, and following due process and procedure, and of course the rule of law.
We don't see people and don't go on leave on several occasions, not come back at the office. When they see this for Nicholas Brandmark?
Well, waiting the Bar Association they do. We not think say this would be the case of the Honorable Justice Brandmark, because we feel say this should be settled first in-house, and whether or not the proper procedure will be followed. Then I want. Whether or not that has been happening in the past, I know say by the fact that we do several engagements and the fact that we don't actually write to the chairman, General Legal Council, for know whether the proper procedures were followed, right, how he arrived at this decision. Right, so whilst we await the reply from the secretary to GLC, we will hold that for now until further we get information.
All right, Mr. Jia. We'll not go discuss some of the issues there, and we'll get the PRO for the judiciary in the studio. We'll not try for Bianca and they make certain clarifications. Them, you don't listen to the PRO for the Bar Association. It makes some salient point. Them one, it describes the judiciary. Say the judiciary is a mess now, and secondly, we don't they see different letter them of legal people who don't write concerning Justice Brandmark, and himself later been come out and write a letter also it makes certain clarification, and he say it's still the work. From then people have not to get clarity on this matter again. As a PRO, you can just start for explain what are the status of Justice Brandmark now.
Let me just make a statement to the word where you say you say the judiciary is in a total mess. We, in the first place, we need to understand within our core function in the as a judiciary. You watch at section 120, subsection 1, we get Chief Justice as a head, and we get the judicial power. And the judicial power they deal with for preside on matters then when are civil, criminal, you understand. So administrative issue, if there is any, not for warranty, the judiciary is in a mess. Are we performing our function? Yes. Are we listening to cases that are civil? Yes. Are we listening to cases that are constitutional? Yes. Are we listening to cases that are criminal? Yes. Are we giving judgments? Yes. Are we sentencing? Are we discharging? So these are the core values. In any way, if there is any administrative issues, are they affecting the purpose of creation? No. Obviously, it is no. Now, you ask whether was the status of Justice Brown Mark and other. In the first place, we get to understand one thing. Is the social media a platform for discourse for serious institution? You know, we will agree, say, certain institutions, then we don't they give space on the social media as a point of discourse, don't they water down the credibility, integrity, and purpose of creation. We need to give a social media a point for contact, as a point we'll filter with, for as you see something on social media, because social media, the regulatory system is very, very weak. If it will have been in the traditional media, then you would say they take them up. But let me just say this thing. Every institution gets an internal issue. Every institution gets an internal issue. And internal issues can be resolved. I think if there is any offshot as una dey raise, the Bar Association say they don't write. What is good for institution like the Bar and others is the fact that they have sent in a letter to the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. We wait for the response.
So as soon as they wait, what's the status of Justice Blamark now? Because in one letter we right now that he's still in an office. He did it or he don't proceed now the leave where the CJ ask him for.
Well, frankly, then letters they are so when they talk, me not see them and not get any copy
okay, apart
of their
from
letters.
The letter now, as a PRO of the institution, you suppose forget knowledge about the judges they would at the office or not. In the case of Justice Blamark, he don't proceed now the leave or is still the work.
I don't make this clear. Then letters they are so when you see them write as people and they alleged, you understand. I've never been copied and I don't get a clue about it. All I know and all I can say to you is the fact that the judiciary, they function well and everybody is working.
So you don't even get knowledge about the judges them?
I'm saying the judiciary is functioning well and everybody they work.
The judiciary.
So everybody cover everybody.
The judiciary they work well. Though we take there some issues then we don't rise around the Nicholas Bramaking issue. One the Chief Justice sent on leave, where according to Mr. Jara not supposed for send on leave. And also allegation of not delivering judgments on time. This all day around the judiciary. Then they say the judiciary they do.
Yeah. See, as far as me, the PRO for the judiciary is concerned, the judiciary is working and everybody is doing fine. You understand? And I further make and say the letter where people then they say in day on social media, me they not copy because I'm coming. Like
not in social media letter they ask you, but now the issues them we don't come out now and they ask you. With all this, you think that the judiciary they do well.
So that is what I don't tell you. I say as far as me concerned, and as far as I know, the judiciary will they do well and will they function well and everybody is working.
You say the judiciary they function well, but finger they don't they point at the Chief Justice say it a step above in powers the way the Constitution gave.
What are the justifications?
based on the issues.
No, what are the justifications?
Based on
Sending
the
on
issues
leave.
them.
No, what I'm
hold
saying.
on, Mr. Kamara. Based on the issues that don't they happen recently, now the judiciary, just like the recent all they talk about to get for do with Justice Blamark, then again assigning judges to certain particular cases them, and delay of cases then a court, especially cases them where get for do with political cases them and all.
Now, let me look at assigning cases. Always they continue for educate people on the issue of assigning cases. You see, you need to assign incomplete case. An incomplete case is not a case. You understand? We have made this clear. You not go start the process and you think you not complete the process and you feel say it should be assigned. That is one. We don't make that clear.
We think it delay the process normally.
No, it can either from either side. Now, let us say it depends on the number of cases then. Like if the number of cases then where you file in too much is a process. It needs document. You can get cite from the lawyer, you understand? And whilst with the process also can take some time.
The judiciary not get the capacity for handle the number of cases the way they come, you mean?
We are challenged. We get a lot of constraints as an institution. So obviously, that is why we always say people must understand with us. Now, let me tell you one thing. The public trust of the judiciary don't increase. And how it increase? People then get alternative ways then for settle disputes. Either for say, I left you to God, or I do other means, or I don't forget what I'm. But if we see the number of cases that are coming to the judiciary, they increase, they tell you, say, people that don't get so much trust in the judiciary. And that is why currently we are asking for more judges, because we know, say, the number of cases they don't increase. We are asking for more support staff because we feel, say, the trust in the people they increase. We are talking about an institution where in 2016 downwards, our public perception survey was 23%, and we talk about 56% in this current stage. So there has been increase in public trust, and the number of staff there where we get, including judges and magistrates, they are not enough. So we get issues and we will constrain with.
So how about the area of the Chief Justice stepping above in constitutional powers and they set a bad precedent for the judiciary? Example, for send a judge for go indefinite leave, where other legal practitioner don't see and say, if this continue, any other CJ will come, go just tread on this particular precedent where the current CJ don't set.
Kajija, I repeat, I have not copied on any of this letter. I am the mouthpiece of the judiciary, and whatever information I give out should be formal and it should be well informed. So I recall when una interviewed the president of the Bar Association. One thing we say not see the letter. And I'm saying this thing, I have not seen the letter. And news making round on social media, in fact, it is very difficult for you identify the source. It is not all source in social media that are credible.
So as a mouthpiece of the judiciary, you want to say now, Naya, this morning, say people for disregard all the letter then they were now the public domain through the social media. They're not correct and we're not aware of them as a judiciary.
I repeat this. I, as a mouthpiece of the judiciary, I have not seen any of them letters.
I know they talk about you seeing them now.
No, but social media, I cannot ignore the correctness of news on social media. You understand? It all depends on who that send them. You understand? But what I'm saying, should we discuss then letters then they? As people and the purport say, then let us then they be on social media. So are they truth in the first place? How many people then where we get where they falsify document them? So what we are saying, if Mr. Jao, for instance, you understand, wants to respond to an issue of that nature, the first thing that he should have is forget this document.
Moses, so people for disregarding document, then are the question where they ask.
Why should I make a statement where now people then views and people then take and say now the rights for believe in social media and news? Why should I? And then feel say them for disseminate social media and news. You understand? But I think if there is anything that is coming from the judiciary that has to be authentic, you understand, it comes through the public relation office, because now the interface between the judiciary and the external public. So as far as I'm concerned, no letter of that nature, either from the Honorable Justice Brandmark or from the Honorable Chief Justice, nor passed through with office, or the office has never been copied. So because of that, I feel there is nothing like short letters then, as people in the claim for me.
In name now, Moses Kamai, the public relations officer for the Judiciary of Salone. Quick one before we can take una text message, the one I don't send on 0779819819 and on Facebook. We come to Tijan Israel Jah from the Bar Association. We done the full press release on several things that we don't happen at the judiciary, and one of them issues there are now the issue of the master and register. We then raised concern both recently. Mr. Jah, for the benefit of our listeners, them what's on our issue with the current master and register?
Okay, the office of the master and registrar of the High Court now very important office. In fact, now an office where we as lawyers need to joke with, because the office they perform important duties, including the sealing of probate and letters of administration where they are not contested, any other function where the Chief Justice go assigned to them. They perform interlocutory duties or applications, and of course they give the tax bill of cost and so on and so forth. So we practice as lawyers the functions of the master and registrar is very important. So on a certain date, certain colleagues then right we say there has been an appointment of a person to the office of the master and registrar of the High Court of Sierra Leone. So similarly, we began letters from one we colleague Mr. Augustine Mara, we in 19th February 2020 writer. They inquire as to the qualification of the current holder of the position of master and registrar. And we also, just like I said before, this is also an issue which can be laid squarely at the feet of those in the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. Like I say, now they're also responsible for the recruitment, appointment of the...
So quick one, what's now an issue with the master register?
Now, two-way representative on GLC will not say and not be there during the time when they recruit the master and registrar. So they write letter to several other people, including the General Legal Counsel, who is responsible for the conduct of practice and practitioners in Sierra Leone, whether the said holder of that office qualify for holder office, and whether I seek exemption under Section 50 of the Legal Practitioner Act from a practice. Waiting come as a result is that the General Legal Counsel say the said holder of that office, when Madam Elaine Bola Clarkson, not qualify, in name not they inside the register of legal practitioners in Sierra Leone, and no seek for an exemption day. Secondly, we talk say, whilst this thing be gone, there was never a vacancy in the office of master and registrar. Therefore, they ought not to have conducted an interview in the first place, because as we know, say the former master and registrar will be in our office, anti-corruption be indicted, and by the civil service procedure, where they indict you, then they ask you for, then they suspend you from the office, we can do on half pay. So wait till we realize, say, whilst he was undergoing his trial, there was an acting master and registrar. We also noticed later on, say, then do, which we were not informed, then do recruitment and appointment of a master and registrar. So we believe, say, all procedures ought to have followed for me to appoint the master and registrar. But if that was not done, then we are saying there was never a vacancy. The current master and registrar where they appoint not qualify as a practitioner within the context of the Legal Practitioners Act and for owner office as master and registrar according to Section 28 of the Courts Act 1965. So those are our concerns, and we don't actually do another letter to the chairman or secretary of the GLC for know how this person then be appointed and whether or not this qualification was brought to the attention of the interviewer.
So in all of this, Mr. Jah, you don't blame this Legal Service Commission?
Judicial and Legal Service Commission.
Judicial and Legal Service Commission.
Yeah.
For
or whether or not their appointment or the issues then were brought to their attention, then we will not have been in this, I repeat, say, mess not as in the judiciary is not performing its function, mess as...
Many issues them don't they happen around the judiciary. Plenty people on the question their work and how then they use the powers or the constitution give them. If matter like this they happen letter, counter letter, then
I can
Salone Bar Association. Quickly, PRO for the Salone Judiciary, Moses Kamara, as they wrap up the program now, the independence of the judiciary in a one way get question mark. Plenty people when they ask question. You go assure the citizen then say the judiciary independent and on ready for work for give everybody equal justice.
That is what we have been doing for give everybody equal justice. You see, independence not waiting you want, now waiting the law say.
Okay.
You understand? The judiciary is independent in its function, in the function of its duties. We are independent, and we need to work in consonance with public opinion and views. You understand? We need to work in accordance with the law. That is the provisions in the Constitution, Section 120, subsection 3, in say we subjected to the Constitution and other laws. So in public view, waiting somebody think, like for instance, in the issue of the master, she went through the Judicial and Legal Service Commission. Anybody will get an issue, as Jadon say, they don't write, so we have to wait for the outcome of the commission. You understand? So we not get anything for say with reference to that. As far as we know, she went through the process and she was interviewed just like the others. They were interviewed, and it happened for be the best out of the rest. So whatever the situation they raised, they have raised it to the appropriate body. Then whatever outcome, then we can discuss it.
But according to Mr. Ja, the first-time master and register still, according to Ramna, acting for imposition they on pending. What's in your faith now when you can pan the work?
As far as I know, the previous master and registrar they facing trial on anti-corruption issue, so and the office cannot be vacant.
All right,
But I was acting.